So, hello and welcome back to Geek, Feng, Shui, where the camera doesn't always want to answer when I tell it to turn on. You just hear my sultry voice. I'm your host and game master, Bob Sellers, Jr. Shout out to our friends at Cass and Mantorville, Under Pressure in Golden Valley, south by southeast in beautiful Pine Island, Minnesota. If you're not in our areas, check out venues near you where family, pet-friendly, fun-friendly places where you can bring the fun or the food or find either of them there at each establishment. So I've been going through and I was going to finish my little spiel and check them out. You might find yourself doing yoga Sundays at Cass. Not being judged if you drink before, during, after. I say that for the owner's wife just to make her laugh. Anyway, check out my books at sellersjr.com, my overall website at geekfengshui.com, and of course this channel, which we appreciate every like, subscribe, and setting of the bell. So I have gotten bourgeois through all of my leveling scheme. I'm going to do some more cleanup with Bodica, but you get to level 16 and we go to Darkshore rather than Westfall. We get to Westfall just to get the flight point, but we are going to finish with Filo Verde going through it. I'll show you everything I did. I'm having the usual blueberry wheat from Chaotic Good. Very good beer. So we're going to go finish up some of our quests here. Now they came out with a video about where Blizzard released the top places that players are getting killed in Classic Hardcore. And of the top 10, 8 were on the Alliance side. So that tells you something. Maybe. I do know that there are some more, and I'll just say dangerous things on the Alliance side, per se, than the Horde. And I will touch on those as we get to them. Because there is, for example, one here. So in this one, we're going to the Mossy Tombs. We can do all those there. We gotta do Ursal the Mind Mauler. The progressions that I found with the weapons in the Paladins, no matter what trees you go through, is the two-handed sword, two-handed mace, or no, 200 mace, and then we go into the axe, I think. Because I did buy, I guess I must have been looking. I did buy, because now we're on mace, so we go sword, mace, and then axe. It's just the progression that I found is the same in all three of them from the axes that are available in the auction house. This is, of course, if I can afford to buy and such. Also, all three are leather workers and skinners for reasons that it makes it easier to collect and sell because everybody seems to leave dead leather lying around. That is, yeah. I did find that I did notice, which might explain the death counts. A lot of players that are 2 levels below what they're playing against. And that tells me that they don't know what hardcore necessarily is all about in a game that's not designed for hardcore. Because obviously Classic was Care Bear up until they came out with the hardcore option. So nothing has been tweaked back that wasn't there in the Care Bear version was meant to be challenging. Well, when you combine hardcore and challenging, you're going to have a lot of deaths if you're not properly leveling your character. I saw one where this person pulled 3 things. I couldn't get to him fast enough to heal him, and I felt bad, but when you're level 6 pulling a pack of level 8s, you should know better. And it could be they've never played WoW before. Oh, there's a hunter up there. Nice, folks. But there they kind of learned the value of having a healer. I've done this one. So we are going to go do the moss 10 rolls here. I did buy that. This is the axe I go into next. Then we go into another one that's later on. At, I guess that is the axe. They look different as the icon versus what they look like in your character. So primarily what the focus of each tree of skills is how it affects, particularly like on the Prot side, it's more for the tank side of it. On the red side, it's more the DPS. On the holy side, it's actually more for like the, well, what you consider the healing side, mana and whatnot. Strength. The base Paladin is the same, just different trees. And that's the way it's always supposed to have been, because you'd find yourself, okay, you want to tank this time or you want to heal, you change your spec. When all is said and done, that's weird. I don't know if it eventually picks up for me. We'll go from here to Ironforge, or we might go back to Goldshire. I think we'll go back to Goldshire because that's where I stopped at a certain level. So I've done that with all of them. I reach a tipping point with my golden rule, trying to be 2 to 3 levels above what I'm fighting. And so you might argue that that takes a challenge out of it. Well, that may or may not be true, in the opinion of those who say it, but I do know that I enjoy the game, not dying and restarting all the time. They call it. So now yeah, the axe looks different on the person, doesn't it? Problem you have, if you haven't used an axe before, you're going to have to level up the skill on it, which means you're not going to do Mr. Stank, but it's going to be a stank. Someone tells me this guy's a griefer. Something tells me, for the moment, I'm going to go back to the mace only because I don't want to be stuck in a tight fight We'll go back to the axe when I go back to the lower level area. Once I thought it was eliminated. Yeah, he's taking all of the stuff. He doesn't want me to have any. That's what, bud? Not my first rodeo. Hunters can be the worst griefers. Next, followed up by mages or any other caster because they wait till you're just about to hit something and they take it. Yeah, they tried to make sure they killed everything up. It's fine. I guess because I think they're cute. Joke's on them, though. These things reproduce fast enough. So the Tears of the Moon is a really kind of a weird quest because there's certain spiders that a certain spider that drops it. They must not have that quest, or they would have been up here killing everything. Not that spider. There's one particular spider that gets it. Looks a lot like that gray one, but it's not that gray one apparently. Oh, it's not gray, but it's white. It's a big gray spider. Now there's people that are good-natured players that pick on, and then there's players like that guy that are just, oh jeez, we're not even getting anything. There it is. The part of the tongue-in-cheek thing is they always call the dwarves fatties. That was not the same guy. But yeah, hunters, politically incorrect as it might be to say, are called huntards because they are just play stupid and reckless, and I've seen them go in where they'll tag everything, expect everybody else to do the fighting for them. You're welcome. Well, we got the escort, I think. Oh yeah, we got the escort and we got the vial to fill. Normally, I don't necessarily like doing the escorts, to be perfectly honest, because they're a pain, but this one follows you at your speed, so you can lead them away from stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend questing.
What brings you here? Farewell.
This is the blood feathers. Before we do that, And enchanters are in the weirdest places. We'll go up and do the escort. Maybe I've got another. The escort's back, I think. Okay, usually regenerates pretty quick. Unlike the other ones where you have to follow it, it follows you, so you can lead it on there. If you do this quest enough times, which I fortunately have, you know to pick a path that you've cleared out. These escorts I really like because you can control where you go. The other ones are a pain in the lower posterior set of bottomless because they often go in their own merry direction and draw all kinds of.
Hello. Ishnu Allah. How may I help? Good luck, friend. Darnassus, goddess watch over you. Be careful. Darnassus.
So let's see what we have left. We gotta go turn these two in. Right. We're gonna have to come back. So we're gonna go turn off these in. We'll go to the Darnassus, turn that one in. So go back to that lady by the lake. I'll find that list of top 10 areas among the top of Westfall. Most people underestimate the mobs there. And to be honest, when I looked at it, I was going to do a Westfall and I was going to do Darkshore. Well, Darkshore is the better. Darkshore is seemingly a better place to level up on. You jump on the levels and then go to Westfall. There's also the I want to say Dunrock, I could be wrong, which is the next area. So there's 3 secondary areas that you can go to. I don't know if I can go all the way to turn and come back, so I'm going to go turn all these in. So I think when I turn this quest into Lady by the Lake, and she sends me Darnassus, and they send me back to her. Or whoever it is. Each of the areas, whether they're Horde or Alliance, do have elites you have to take on. In the Alliance side, by Ironforge, there's 2. One you don't have to kill, but you have to get the box before it comes back and tries to kill you. The other one you do, they're both level 11 gold dragons. So that tells you you don't want to take them on until you're at least 14 or 15, which is Philo, or Bodica and Bourgeois both did. And once I get these up to 18, which shouldn't be too terribly long now, I will start doing more Horde side too. It'll be refreshing to bounce back and forth, and that way it won't be so tediously repetitive. If I'm doing all Horde and they're all the same area, I'll do, okay, this is the Alliance, and this is Horde. It will be really weird when I get my Pallies to the Barons. And that was one of the funnier moments. I'm not the only one that said that. When you play one faction for so long and play the other, you forget and try to run into the wrong faction. Why? Hey guys, wait, why are you shooting at me? You know it's me. Oh crap, I forgot. It's me under all this makeup.
Hello. Goodbye.
Follow our junk here.
I am honored. Illuminate your path.
But yeah, if you look at Deathlog, you can see the different levels of Princess, for example. There's Craigbors have killed people.
Peace be with you. Go in peace. Farewell.
Now we've done that. One thing is Deathlog or Questy does, or Deathlog, one of the two, shows you the hot zones of where many of the deaths that have occurred, the deadliest places to go. So if you mind Shui logins or add-ons, to each their own, but I prefer to use the ones I'm using. It gives me just a little bit of an advantage. It doesn't give you an advantage in leveling other than telling you where you can go get stuff and warning you where stuff is you don't want to go. Doesn't protect you from Gomers or Retards. I'd say Gomer because most people don't know what that means.
Elune be with you. May the stars guide you.
I think I take this back to Valor. In essence, we've batted cleanup. We've cleaned up everything here. I believe here. 15.5. For the most part, there's a lot more camaraderie with hardcore than there would be with retail. Be that as they all know you're in the same boat, as it were. But you will get griefers. Like I said, I run into it. I didn't recognize it, the term I've come to call it from watching videos of hardcore griefers, meaning the griefers who are trying to kill off your character. That don't accept to teleport from an unknown mage. This is why you get in trouble when you don't follow the road. So yeah, the method I use for leveling is a lot extra work. See a lot more of the game. You don't level like a rocket, but you do, I think, come on a much better rounded character. These are paladins. I have not done it with the other ones. So when I get everybody to 60 that I have now, maybe I'll come back and do that. I'll make it a wild hair. Do my night elf. Gesundheit is my night elf robe at the moment. Story behind the Gesundheit character, back when I was playing retail, like I said, I had 70 some characters. Things and ended up with 72 accounts, but you're limited to 50 per. And I like to level batches of them. Sometimes the same character, sometimes different areas. So I didn't do the multi-start level like I do here. To be honest, it didn't occur to me back then. And one day I was trying to, I'd use virus names, virus families, things like that. Sneezed, Gesundheit. Legend was born. She only became what I call Legend in the forums, because that's my name. Changed my account. And right now it's Geek, Feng, Shui, but it used to be Gesundheit. And I discovered there was a bunch of hooligans, roamers, whatever you want to call them, that were polluting the forums, for want of a better term. And they made the mistake of picking on one of my posts, where I'd come out of the battleground, and there usually isn't really a lot of coordination that goes on, but everybody knows the end goal. Nobody was doing it. I just got frustrated, and I was blowing off steam. I always say, if you blow off steam, give yourself a day or two before you do it. So I went and wrote nice. I thought a nice post. I wasn't swearing, wasn't calling out anybody by name. And what they would do, it turns out, was their tactics was take any post and start in the replies changing it from what it originally was to what they wanted it to be for their needs. So you got a post on the PG suddenly became how stupid the alliance was, or I mean, they completely changed the whole. And it's like, no, it's not how this works. And they would get rude and crude, which was their Achilles heel and their downfall. Because when I get very angry, I use polite, long, thought out words. These idiots are not normally smart enough to understand it. But I am not derogatory. And they said and did things that were against the terms service. And so I started pointing out the mods, and I guess up until me, nobody had really bothered to pay attention to doing that. Eventually they got temporary bans. Well, they were doing this story thing. It's kind of, I don't know if the story was true or not. It's, you never can trust what people tell you. But he had done for years these little short little blurbs about his life and stuff, and I had no intention to ruin that, but when you get banned, it deletes all of your posts.
Quickly, young one. I have urgent
And they
matters
took
to
it
attend.
very personal.
I have vision that she lacks.
And
Tyrande has no idea how to lead our people. I have vision that she lacks.
they never managed to bother me in game, because again, I play 70-some characters, obviously not all at once, and between two accounts, so I've never, like with here, I'm Horde some days, Alliance others. Right now I'm focused on the Alliance, but just for these Paladins. But anyway, I did run across Triv, was the name of this guy's character. So please don't pick on anybody whose character named Triv. It's a common enough name, as I come to find out. It's, I forget where it originates from, but anyway, he and his gnomes, they weren't all gnome characters, but they would make it sound like, oh my god. There's a quest from us. Anyway, they kept coming up, and make a really long, unnecessarily long story short, there was another server that was horde heavy. My coworkers where I work at the time were playing it. Still work with them more or less indirectly, but they no longer play WoW either. And this server had a very active forums that, much like what these workies were doing, got stepped on by the admins because they were doing and saying stuff that was not allowed in the forums. There's rules. You click OK, I agree to these terms. It doesn't mean that you can then go turn around and break them, but until at least still somebody points it out. So they created a separate forum outside of Blizzard, outside of WoW, that became the gold standard, as it were, for player-run forums. There's a lot of drama, this, that, and the other, and calling people out. And, you know, that's fine. They want to do as long as it's their own rules and regulations. It's outside of the ways and means of Blizzard. So these clones on our server decided to do the same thing, just because they're so fed up with my character. And Why are they focusing on me? I don't know. But anyway, I never confronted them necessarily in the forums, but when they created this new one, I got wind of it, because when you have a separate account, you can have separate entries into the forums. So I joined up this new server thing. I wasn't poke the bear saying, I just want to listen to see what they're saying. And out on whim, I created a Gazoon type member. It didn't have any of my personal information in it on the forums, and just let it sit. And I figured they were going to see it and ban it. Oh no, it went about 2-3 months. They were whining and complaining. They got officially banned from the forums. They all did, for violating terms and conditions. Blizzard just got tired of it, and so they blamed me. And it's rather than amending their ways of doing stuff, they kept whining and complaining it wasn't their fault. It's like when you watch the police videos with the people that happen to be sovereign citizens, they're not doing anything wrong, they're not breaking any laws, why are you putting cuffs on me type deal. And that's the way they treated it. And all of a sudden they discovered the Gesundheit character thing. And they wondered what I'd been stealing from them, blah blah blah. Then finally somebody said, well, we created this for discussions. All we're discussing is this one other character. And I about fell off the chair laugh. So it's true. They were so mad at me. Well then, and I had absolutely nothing to do with it. Their forums got hijacked. Because even today, unless you secure their forums or Facebook and stuff, there are hackers that will come in and take over. They'll use it for their own. It's much like these. Essentially, it was karma, because what these guys did to forum things, the hackers did to them, and basically locked everybody out. They took an already created forum and used it for, and it was a foreign. And to this day, I don't remember. I don't even know if I knew what language it was. It might have been just garbly good for the hackers, but. I thought that's a Paladin. I said, no way. I think I have. Oh, I missed the talking on this. I had to go to the fountain. Maybe I'll turn this on. Anyway, they lost their forums. The sad part was you'd think they would have learned. You would think. But like I said, they are Gomers. Gomers are not known for their intelligence level for many reasons. Some sort of medical techie term. I'm going to leave it at that. It's not a cut necessarily. It's not a compliment. It's just a term. But the Gomers are not known for their intelligence level for a reason. And they got banned, and then when they came out with a new expansion, that's the term I was looking for, they would reset all the bans. So these guys would come roaring back, pick up where they left off, in short order they get banned again, over and over. Because by this time, other people finally realized they could do something about it. I'm not taking credit for that, but I think I set the table. Other people sat down to eat, and these Gomers learned. And, the funniest time, though, is when I think I've told this story before. We were playing Wintergrass, which was a battleground, and it was one of the few no-fly zones. We couldn't fly in the area. But what you could do, if you left the battlegrounds, you could go fly to go to the area above and mount up and fly into Wintergrass, but you get dismounted and you automatically got a parachute. And it wasn't hardcore, so it wouldn't have necessarily killed you, but it might have. You could drop down. Well, in the battle, there's a fort with factories, and there's factories outside. Whoever won it last time has the forts inside the fort and the guns in the walls. And Triv was one of those rare individuals that likes to sit back and let others do their work, literally and figuratively. I've seen him enough times. And he's on the outer wall of his fort on a gun that he could have been using to shoot at the attacking faction, but no, he's in there crafting. So I landed on the wall above and could watch him. So I jumped on and killed him. He wasn't expecting to be attacked because he was safely being amused by watching everybody else do their work. So he res, I left the battleground. He came into the inner wall to finish his crafting because we all know how important that was to him. I think I got everything there. Oh yeah, I have to put on that. So anyway, I repeated the process. I went up to the other area because these battles would go on for hours until somebody won. And so then I went and I dropped down and killed him on the inner wall. Same character. I didn't change characters. And I don't know if he ever put two and two together. That's the closest I've ever come to running into that. It wasn't them that were griefing me. I was not grieving. It was a battleground. They were all fair game. And then he moved into the castle and did all his crafting there. But the funny thing about Wintergrasp is that on more than one occasion, I get up on the wall and shoot down at the guns and destroy them. It was a hunter or whatever, a caster, to the point where they would get their vehicles and go outside and they shell their own castle. They wouldn't do damage when you're shooting at your own stuff, but it was to knock me off the wall. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I wish I had videos to this day.
Hello. May the stars.
Yeah, those were the fun days of WoW, long past, particularly on a PvP server. So that one day to really be fun, because I like to tweak them, I will admit it, I'm lawful evil. I created a character, Triv, with a funny eye, and on the horde side I created Triv VV, so it's TRIVV, and they all looked character-wise sort of like his. I'd have my other account logged in, listening to, because I got into their guild and everything was kind of funny. I said, I didn't know you were playing. I'm not. Why do you ask? I just saw you over at so and so. So yeah, revenge is a dish best served cold, as the Klingons say. I think it was on Ravencrest as the server we were on. Yeah, the sad part of that back in the day is all my friends were on that server. Had I known what I know now about PvP servers and heavy populations, I mean, it did make me a better player because I got ganked a lot. I got to be uncampable, and what that means, many people who are camped give up and just leave. Well, they'd sit and wait for you to live until they knew you wouldn't come back. Well, I kept coming back. Not only that, I'd lead them a ways away. I led one guy across continent, and I was laughing harder than he was probably giggling at killing someone, and I ended up having a joke on him because I pulled the way across, and it was fun for me because I knew I was going to die, so I took all my gear off, and I'd eventually run into a pack of things, and he'd land, and suddenly he'd kill me, and also the pack was attacking him, and it was just hilarious. It was one of the funniest. That went on for hours. I think he got adamant that he was going to make me leave the game. and I managed to get away from him, which I'm sure left him less than amused. Yeah, on the PvP server, you get a little bit of, it said lawful evil. You don't necessarily run into any of that per se on PvE servers. RP servers can just be weird, but PvP players definitely know. Battlegrounds are played better by PvP because we're used to having to watch out for their faction. With PvE players, meaning that that's much like these servers, you can run past and see another. You can see, I can see Horde. I'm used to playing on the Horde. You can see Horde, run the Horde, see Alliance, and they're not messing around your way to kill them. However, from what I've seen in the videos, what these griefers do is they will, like a rogue, which can vanish, not new rogues, they will come up and attack a boss, lead it to you until it's right up near you, and then vanish. Well, what happens is there's a mechanic in the game where that big bad thing suddenly aggroes you, and because he was set for PvP, you're now flagged for PvP, and he comes in and kills you. But for the most part, the humor I really find with a lot of these videos is you have people claiming to play hardcore that are not, but they're on PvE servers playing death equals delete, meaning if they die, they can come back and say, "Oh, that was I didn't deserve that. I'm going to keep playing." You know, they call it appealing. There's appealing, and there's appealing, and Blizzard said they will not do it. I forget what I saw, something about 20 and under, you're SOL. Go back and start a new character.
Ishnu Allah. Till next we meet. Goddess, watch over.
Oh, this is Oaken Skull. Our favorite. Never, ever underestimate Gold Dragon. There's this Oaken Skull. Then there's a couple other elites like this. One, you have to go get the box open. That one's just a timing. Watched him do it. I've gotten hit by him, but I didn't get stunned. The other one is another level 11. You have to climb up. There's a big Sasquatch. So if you want to know How to die with an apple. So what I was going to do here. So Oaken Skulls kill level 11, so Night Elf Druid. He's not alone, but so you have to go in here. See if you can pull him without. It just becomes a matter of who can outlast whom. He's level 9. The other guy outside of Ironforge. I think what probably happened with those people that died down is they pulled that other minion. Or they were clothies, or they didn't have enough damage output. My characters, I make sure I have a scheme for their armor and weapons. I'm significantly higher level than they are. Now, a lot of this has to do with rest experience, too. Rest experience plays big into characters here. So by having as many characters as I do and letting them sit, when I come to play them for almost 2 levels, I'll have rest experience. I think I've used up all my rest. I think you get 150 or 200%. It's on rest. The other 2 paladins I have are 13.5. There's the Philo.
Greetings. Good luck, friend. Be careful.
He's a bit ahead of the curve. So now I'll go turn in my quest in Darkshore, and we will go over. I think we'll go over to Stormwind and go out to Goldshire and go up and clear out those quests. Yeah, you get a lot of trolls, different than Gomers. Trolls will try to get you, oh, come on, do this dungeon with us, you're the right level. They take you in areas you really shouldn't go into. They're not your friends, necessarily.
Feel free to browse.
Trust no one.
Go in peace.
That's pretty much it for this area. Cleaned up, and we'll do that same with outside of Stormwind and outside of Ironforge. Then we'll come back and do Darkshore. There's no Paladin trainers over here, but eventually you'll find them as you advance in the areas where other. Those are keyboard players because their thumbs are bouncing on the space bar. The presumption is that you travel faster if you do this. Teach their own. You like to do bouncy bouncy? Maybe you had that as a kid. Like these little things you put your little tiny kids in and they bounce up and down in the area. You go and drool and fill the diapers. Not that I'm saying you would do that when you were a character. Awful evil, here I am. By the time I get out of Stormwind and Goldshire, I see all these level 6 characters, even Ironforge, level 6 characters doing stuff in level 8 areas. It's sad they don't realize you have other options, but it is what it is. Then there comes the term, when you talk about terms with WoW, there's in Diablo, there's a term called PKs that came out of Diablo, particularly Diablo 2. Sometimes with Diablo, it might have been Diablo 2. They're called player killers. And in Diablo 1, it was a peer-to-peer game where if I started a game, it would be on my computer and it would open. We didn't quite have the internet like we have it today, or they didn't have the servers that they have today, both. And so I would normally do well, if you opened up a private game to the public, there'd be like a 5-minute lag before it opened up. So, for example, this one time with Diablo, I went all the way down. I wasn't setting a trap anyway. I just knew. Well, there was a hack you could get. A few times I've ever used a hack with the games that you could tell where anybody else in the game was. Everybody was using it, so if you can't fight them, join them. So then I would run down and kill Diablo off, and the person would race down to try to kill me as I killed Diablo. Teleport to, I ran out of town portals, can you come out and give me one? It's like, duel me, I will run away. I want to see what it's like to have a curse. Yeah. And if you're wondering, there's a weapons trainer here in Darnassus that trains Weapons Master.
Goddess watch over you. Feel free to
Cheap
browse. Farewell.
Evidently weapons I can't use. Or if I don't show me it available, but it doesn't. As you advance on expansions like Wrath of the Lich King and on, there's more and more and more mailboxes and flight points in areas that you don't have in Classic. Because people kept whining and complaining that they had to do a lot of what you do. You run a lot and until you get your mounts, and then they complain even with mounts. So that's why they're flying. And it has come out later that many of them agree that adding flying to the game kind of ruined it. But once you let the genie out of the bag, you can't. So they have areas of the game, I think, eventually where you cannot fly in. Of course, people are unhappy about that. I got this beautiful mount. I spent all these 100,000 gold that I bought. I mean, I got in the game. As you can tell, I played the world's tiniest violin for the. In no relation to Tiny Violin, the guy that wiped out his guild in hardcore. That apparently was on a hardcore server. Because when he killed, he messed up a pull in a raid that people didn't catch on to what was going on. He made it look like it was an accident. I watched it and I could have thought I've seen that happen where it was legit. Well, it turns out there's a story behind the story.
See you soon.
And he waited an entire year to kill to pull it off, and he warned some people, and yeah, it was kind of sad. But like the one, it happened to be a gal because she was talking, and the player said that people were getting burned on. They did in the old gamers. You get these raiders, and they are like a second or third job. And I'll have to find the link for search for World First. I'll put it in the description. But that kind of shows you there. In the documentary, they covered one of the top #1 or whatever guild. And they're ranked by how many World Firsts they got. Because when you got a World First, it was announced across the whole thing. So-and-so got World First down such and such in Naxxramas or wherever it was. Well, anyway, they were not around the same area. They were all over the country together. And there's one guy who was a law student who was very particular in what people thought about him. So he had an apartment in New York. They showed you walk in, and there's nothing that you would expect to see in a gamer's place. I think there was a piano, and it was obviously a furnished apartment, but he, there's nothing until you went to where there was a walk-in closet, because all these places have walk-in closet. We have a walk-in closet here, and that's where his game room was. So he didn't want people's first impressions of him to be as a gamer. So very few of his close friends knew he gamed, but people in line knew. I once got to play on a private server. Somehow somebody I worked with got a hold of. He never was quite clear where he got it, so who knows. They weren't necessarily legal or legit, but it was a full-blown WoW server. My daughter and I played on it, and we got to go to GM Island. Because back in the original days of Classic, for a GM to come in the game, they had to have a physical presence. For whatever reason. Well, you're not going to come in as a level 1 dwarf GM, so they would come in at max level. And they had an armory where you can put on whatever. They had all of the outfits, ones that are rare and everything to put on so they can impress. And you could get out to GM. I swam out. There was a way to do it that you could swim out to past exhaustion to get there. And it got to the point where they were banning people for going out there. There wasn't anything to do on the island, and it wasn't like you were getting any distinct advantage. But yeah, they did not like that. So when you were there, you weren't there for long, and you left. Or you'd log out and come log in and find your character in the middle of the ocean near exhaustion.
What can I do for you? See you soon.
So, I think I'm going to fly. I can use my hearth, but I'm not going to waste it. There are no trainers for paladins over here, so I'm going to go. Ironforge isn't that far away.
Ishnu Allah.
Yes, I don't think I've ridden. Oh, that's right.
Be careful.
I have to take the boat. What the heck? And I did verify with these flight points, you have to pay to fly. You don't have to find them to use them. When you get here, you can either take the boat or you can. Is leaving. Yeah, I just missed it. You can either take the boat over to enough area, or you can fly, and they're both the same length of time to get from point A to point B. It's just with the boat you have to wait for it. And I think in the later expansions, that flight point was connected to stuff. And it could be I just don't have any other flight points other than that one, so who knows. It's from here. From here, you go to you either go to Stone Town. Winter Spring. Ashenvale is where you go up to, because then you can go to Fellwood, or you can go down to the Barrens, Stonetown and Barrens. And the main Alliance town is in the middle. Horde town's over here. And the lower end is tier level-wise. So when you're a Horde, you're coming in on the kind of the higher end. Alliance have two places you can fly from. Horde only have one, I believe. That's how you get to the Barrens. Getting to where I want to eventually go, to go through Arathi Highlands, hit the South Shore. To go there, you have to go through the wetlands. You want to be 20 or higher. So theoretically, all my paladins will be easily able to do that once I get done with Darkshore. The only reason I'm going to South Shore is I want to see if that stupid air stuff is there. So what would happen in South Shore, the Horde would come. I only discovered it when they were wiping us out and they would camp everybody. I'd sit there as a dead character, you can look around, I'd watch, and I'd watch this guy. What the hell is he doing on top of the mailbox? He's bouncing up. Well, they'd get enough people on top, they'd open a summoning portal, and pretty soon you got a whole village on top of our end. Range hunters, healers, casters. Not that they wouldn't let you get into the end. If they did, they had rogues that were cloaked, and they'd wipe out the entire town and keep it that way. Lock down. And they never did anything about it until they came out with one expansion. They blew it up. Rather than fix it. Now in Wrath of Lich King Classic, I run a character up there, and I could not find the air step. Somebody said that they fixed it, which, yeah. Don't know if I believe, but Classic at least it was there. They fixed it in Classic. I might have to ask why they didn't fix it back then. Maybe they couldn't, or because they changed game engine supposedly somewhere along the line a couple times. So it could have been the game engine they used for it before didn't allow them to fix it. I don't know. But I would report it, and the GMs would get hold of me, and I pictured these guys sitting in a room like laughing at my monitor, eating popcorn, watching me show them how to do it. They knew it. And there was always the impression that the GMs, be it as it may, it was just the way everybody said that they were friendlier with the Horde. But the funniest, by far the funniest interaction I had with GMs was there was an island they came up with in one of the expansions that was mutual, and there was quests. The more quests you did every day, the more quests opened up. Well, when we were first flying out, there was a lot of you come in the whole island's full of order there. And there was one that we had to do. We go on the ship that had high masts, like these ships, only bigger. And there was either a hunter or somebody, one of the range ones up there. And they were just camping the road onto this boat. And it was just annoying because we couldn't get on at all. And so I finally locked a ticket. Watch this. It was like a big hand came up and did the blink. And because his character went from the top of the mast all the way up in the air and out into the ocean and almost out of sight. Swim back. I'm sure they had no idea what just hit them. Oh, that was funny. It was worth a while. We need to be on these ships and the Horde would come out. We'd done that on their Zeppelins. They clean off a Zeppelin, kill them way off, and they go to the nearest graveyard. This is Timbuktu. The alligators, I think, are 18 and 20. But that isn't the hard part necessarily. You can get through wetlands at this level. It's the Wrathy Highlands where you're going to get beat up. You're going to get to.
Hey there. See you around.
Trying to get to the. South Shore. So I want to say levels. So the starting zones are 1 to 10, secondary zones are 10 to 20. Redwood, Red Ridge, Ashenvale, and Stone Town are 20 to 25. Wetlands, Duskwood, and Hillsbrand are 25 to 30. Wrathy Highlands is 35 to 40, so yeah. What is Feng? Let's see what Fellwood is. Or for Ellis, I'm thinking maybe it's 45 to 50. So, yeah. Go to Elwyn Forest up to a point. Then we'll come back and finish this up, and we'll go to eventually go to Darkshore. Yeah, because I don't know how. Does he go? Let's just swim. Which you could as long as you avoided anything along the way. So I'm curious. Okay, is WoW Classic's most famous questing hubs, and for good reason. Mid-level players in the late 20s went through the flock to Solitude with intention, gaining some quick experience, additionally getting away from hustle and bustle of their questing zone. And it's no lies, it's way easier to get to if you're a horde. So now the question comes, what do you do? I think the swimming is by far the easiest. I found a video. I will link. Somebody swimming the South Shore at 15. I think I'd get a bunch of water.
What's on your mind? Safe travels.
Now this is where I ran into thought of if you do a instead of the other, you don't lose mana. I've been experimenting with that with the other ones. Yeah, I've done. Might as well go and finish these off then. I have done most of the quests because I have to do the Paladin quest here. So long as swim to South Shore, but I'm just curious how many underwater snafus you run into. Of course, there's Murlocs. So the best thing to do is to stay outside by the exhaustion zone. You're usually safe. So we have stone cached. We will go do that one. I did it on bourgeois, and I found the trick. Is I was under the impression that the minute you open the box, it comes right away. It's not true. And you can see there's a lot of underwater when you watch this video. There's a lot of underwater areas that you eventually get to explore.
Talk to me. Watch your back.
I don't think Madika has done this yet. I've come close and watched him and tried to do it. It takes a while for him to come out of his cave. You gotta be ready for it. So what I did, went up far enough up here so I could keep an eye on. I'm high enough level. You won't necessarily see me to aggro to me. I don't know what schedule he's on, but he's have to wait. It's a mistake I made with Bodega, as I was sitting on the far side. So by the time I went in there, he was already halfway to where he needs to go. Fortunately, she didn't get stung, so I was able to get away. Here he goes. You keep your eye on him to see who he's targeting. Remember, he gets out to there, he kind of says, oh wait, got this bad feeling. He comes and runs all the way back. And that's how you get that quest done.
How are you? Off with you. Be good. What's on your mind?
That works too. I probably give them that guy more credit than he's due. Or dangerous, but gold dragons are gold dragons for a reason. Yeah, I'll link the video I found of how to swim from. I'm gonna try it on one of my characters. Get sidetracked. I definitely would not have tried to kill him at level 11. The guy has much respect for me in that. Of course, he had a, I don't remember, a knee or something.
You got my attention. Watch your back.
Oh yes, this is where we go up and do our visit to the little kingdoms on the hill. There's, you can kill the one and get it, or you can get the ends down the days of old. And there's a shiitake amount of people. Well, you can chase me if you want. You're on a leash.
What's on your mind? Be good.
Welcome. Be good.
No. Safe travels.
It's usually a mage NPC here that leads you to believe you have to kill him to get there. I lucked out the last time because somebody had just been up here. So what you want to do is get these baskets. And they regenerate fast enough. So you don't have to wake the dead, so to speak. And that's that. Actually, I think there's more quests that bring you up there. I can remember doing a lot more up there in those later expansions. That's right. Mining the gold water. Now in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, when you jump in the world, the cold starts creeping in and will kill you. Different genre games.
Interest you on a pint? Off with you. Be good.
Yeah, swimming to South Shore is probably gonna be the better option once I get to Darkshore. I'd rather be 18 to 20 when I do it, just in case. And then I'll load up with pots. And Care Bear, it doesn't really matter how many times you die. You do take damage and you just end up doing repairs. That's what I'm doing here by leveling all 3 areas. You know, it would have been considered unnecessary. Beneficial, so but until I got into hardcore, I would never have considered such a methodology. Having done it on the Horde side as much, I was able to apply it here. That guy's saying, I'll show you where to stand and wait, don't worry, but if that person, you can go kill it. There is that. I value my characters a little bit too much, I think. Paladins, a lot more work to do to get where they're at. Or any of the Alliance characters, if you go to do the route that you do over the mountains, there's a lot more lost when you lose your character. I mean, it's no different than being on Gold Road and losing your character. Now my other Paladin is still going strong. Bourgeois is 16 and got the Darkshore. I'll get what Dika to do clean up. I'll keep documenting what I'm doing with Philo here. Something to do with Menethil. So in the end, I'll have 3 Paladins. One will be set up as a healer, one will be set up as DPS, and the other will be set up as tank. There are skills you'd want to focus on making when you're going to be tanking that I don't have. I focus more on the stuff that benefits me as far as the DPS, but it's from the tree of my selection. Who knows, maybe someday I'll go into the dungeon and for something. I'm not a big dungeon, but I wasn't in Diablo 4. You had to in Diablo 4, and then you had to face the butcher. So let me tell you. Talk about a pain in the lower posterior symphysis.
You got my attention. Watch your back.
I think this is... That's a quest I left off. No.
What can I do for ya? Great to meet you. Off with you.
What can I get for you today? Keep your feet on the ground.
How are ya? Watch your back.
Here there. Off with you. How are you? Be good.
This cave that's down there is a variation of a cave that's out on South Shore. My South Shore. It has a bunch of Yetis in it. And on the top 10, they are some of the ones that killed them.
Can I help you? Alrighty then.
I have to go all the way back to that lady over there, quest giver over there, return the barrel.
You got my attention. Watch your back. Here there. Be good. No. See you soon. Well met.
What's on your mind? See you soon. You got my attention. Safe travels. I've the finest wares in the land. Off with you.
Do that. I'm gonna go check on the mutts, make sure they're not trying to get out. Like little kids, when they're quiet, it's not good. Dogs are all asleep. All's well. I think I'm gonna
What can I do for you?
try to do that. Chest, legs, hands, and feet. Already done them.
What can I get for you today? See you
Let's see what I can
soon.
make.
How are ya? Safe travels.
Alright. think I'm going to call this a video and come back to 12. Finish up here. Otherwise, it's going to be a really long video. Not that the videos aren't already long. Yeah, the third area coming out of here is next area over. Lockmodon. So you have Lockmodon, Modon. You have Darkshore. You have Westfall. So I will head out as the same way I came in and say hello to our friends at Chaotic Good Brewing here in Cass and Manorville, Under Pressure in Golden Valley. South by Southeast and Pine Island are venues of similar nature near you and yours, where you can find fun, bring fun, same with food. Offered in and around, usually at each venue, or you can bring your own. Bring your fun, card games, board games, or whatever. They have events such as trivia, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. Check them out. Great people, great places, great times. Check out my books at sellersjr.com, my overall website, geekfengshui.com, and of course this channel, which we appreciate every like, subscribe, and setting of the bell. See you in the next video.